What's up, everybody? In today's video, we're going to be talking about what happens in the second visit to MEPS. So if you're about to go to MEPS, keep on watching. What's up, my future Air Force Generals and Chiefs? For everyone who is new to the channel, my name is Michael Inman, and I'm an airman in the United States Air Force. On this channel, we discuss life in the Air Force and also how to join the military. If this channel is for you, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. Now, also, it's worth mentioning, I do upload a video every Monday. So if you want to be one of the first people to find out when I've uploaded this video, hit the notification bell after you hit subscribe and just click all. So then you are one of the first people to find out and you get to see this face before anyone else. If you remember, I do like to start all my videos with a tidbit of context. So, what is MEPS? Firstly, MEPS is usually a two-part process. Most people go the first time for a few things, which I'll get into in a sec, and then they go again, which is what we're going to talk about today. But MEPS, the acronym, is Military Entry Processing Station. It's where you go to become academically, medically, and physically qualified for military service. You might have heard of the ASVAB, right? The scary test before you can join the military that you have to take. Well, at MEPS is where you take the ASVAB, and then you enter the DEP program after you go to MEPS the first time. After doing all of that and coming back a second time, that is what we're going to be talking about today. What happens on your second trip? Before we get into that, let me mention that I do have videos on all three: the ASVAB, going to MEPS the first time, and of course, the DEP program. So what you're doing and how you're being processed, I don't know. It's pretty much what you do as you wait for a job, okay? So cool. Anywho, I have a video on all three of those topics somewhere on my channel, so dig around after this video or hit pause and watch them now. But without further ado, let's get into what happens at MEPS the second time. I went to my recruiter's office and then I was driven to MEPS, which I was living in New Jersey. So then I was driven into Brooklyn, New York City. And that is where I don't think I had to do anything. I just had to get there in time to be put on the shuttle to the overnight hotel for MEPS. So that was kind of inefficient because I showed up an entire night or day before in a way. I mean, I showed up around 4 or 5 p.m. and got on the next shuttle to the hotel, but I wasn't on call till 5 a.m. the next day. It's fine. Anywho, got to the hotel. In processing was just like the first time I went to MEPS. Very quick. Well, not quick, but very easy. You get checked in eventually, and you hang out with the other recruits. It's important to note that for 2020 and possibly 2021, you are not going to be hanging out with other recruits because you know why, okay? You know why. So, but when I went, and maybe in 2022, it'll be back to normal. But when I went, I hung out with the other recruits. It was cool being one of the people who was going to ship out the next day, because the first time you go to MEPS, you're meeting people who are either like you, there to take the ASVAB and do other MEPS 1 things. And then you're also running into people who are in the waiting area, the lobby, the lounge, who are like, oh yeah, I'm shipping out tomorrow. So it's kind of this, and that when they say that, it kind of gets real. It's like, oh my God, woof. But anywho, I digress. The point is I mingled in the lobby for a bit. I grabbed dinner, went upstairs, and went to bed because there was still the 4 a.m. wake-up call. And of course, we had to be on the bus by, I think, 4:45, and then back at the MEPS station by 5:15. So went to bed early, woke up for breakfast. I do think they have the hotel call all of your rooms around 4 or 4:15, like a wake-up call. So no excuse to oversleep. Plus, that'd be probably the most embarrassing thing that you've ever done. Hopefully. Don't let it happen. So, you have a nice breakfast, you mingle with the same people you did the night before, or you make new friends at breakfast, or you sit alone. It's up to you. It really is your choice. You get on the bus, you get shipped back to the MEPS station, like I said. Mine was MEPS Brooklyn, so go New York. And upon arriving, the first thing that's going to happen is they're going to reconfirm your height and your weight. So if weight was something that you were always thinking about and kind of nervous about, it happens pretty first, so at least they're getting it out the way. Me, I was still 6'3", so that's good to know. By that I mean 6 feet 3 inches, tall boy over here. And then my weight had probably only fluctuated by what, 2 pounds. I've been like the same weight probably since I was 17, guys. It's been real stagnant. I do what I can. But we're gonna change that. We're gonna change that. It's reversed, but know that it says serious mass. 2020 is my year. Okay, the year's almost over, but 2021, you guys just wait, okay? We're gonna be booling. After you get your height and weight reconfirmed, that is when they then do other kind of tests. They're not doing the full, there's a special word for this, but I forget what the word is, but they're not doing the full spectrum of tests that you did the first time you went to MEPS, but they are confirming a couple things. Are you within your weight range? Are you the height that you said you were? I don't know, are you the same person? Also, let's check your blood for drugs. Let's check your alcohol, ruined it. Let's check your breath for alcohol. Hopefully you aren't boozing up at the hotel, because that would also be incredibly stupid, and I don't understand how you made that choice the day before MEPS. After the blood test and the alcohol breathalyzer test, you also are going to do another urinalysis, I believe. I think everyone does another urinalysis, but I know the women definitely do another urinalysis because it's like the last check for pregnancy, even though you're also, I think, gonna do it when you get to basic training. Once again, not an expert on that particular part of the MEPS in processing pipeline, but based on the little research I did do before hitting record, I know you guys have to do urinalysis, and it's to make sure there's nothing in the oven. The point of all of these tests and all of these kind of touch points is to make sure that you are in prime condition medically, physically, etc., so that you can ship off to military service. They cannot in-dock you or in-process you into the military if you're showing up to their door not at your physical best. And I don't mean super in shape, I'm just saying you can't have a broken ankle and try to hobble onto the bus. It just is not gonna work out. They're going to say go home. They will probably give you a wheelchair to get you to your car, but they're gonna say go home, okay? After you are medically qualified, pretty much just reconfirming like, yeah, you're good. We trust that you're in the same condition and ready to ship off in a couple hours. Next, you will go into a room for the enlistment contract review. And so there are four things that I need you to make sure that the contract has correct. First, is your rank correct? Are you supposed to be coming in as E1, E2, E3? Where? What are you? If you expected, based on your first time to MEPS and talking to your recruiter, that you should be an E3 because you have some college credits, and that puppy says E1 and you sign it, that's your fault. Moving forward, make sure the length of your contract or your terms of service is correct. So if you somehow are one of the people who have like a 2-year contract, I don't even know how it's possible, then make sure your contract says 2 years. If you are someone who has a 4-year contract, but your contract now says 6 and you had no idea about it, and you don't have one of those weird jobs that require you to stay in for 6 years, I'm just saying you need to be able to find out where it says how long you're required to be active duty and make sure it aligns with what you expected. Next, is there a bonus that comes with your job? that your recruiter said comes with the job that you're going in for, you need to find out if that's on your sheet. Because if it feels spoken about, but it's not on that enlistment contract, poof, it's gone. Okay? Okay? And finally, make sure the actual job code is correct. You don't want to be going in your mind as, let's say, a firefighter, yet for some reason, this code and the job title actually aligned with, I don't know, Loadmaster. Even though Loadmaster, very popular job. The point is make sure the contract is correct in regards to the rank, the length of contract, any bonus, if applicable, and finally, is your job right? Thanks. So, after your enlistment contract review, you then will go to something called the Pre-Accession Interview, which is generally and most frequently described as your last opportunity to come clean about anything that you have on your chest that you really need to get off your chest. Yeah, so I'm sure they're going to talk about a couple other things in the pre-accession interview, but it's often described in the deep, dark crevices of Reddit as a place to divulge secrets right at the last minute and get disqualified. So after that, we have the military separation policy brief, which, let me summarize it for you in a nice 4 seconds. If you run away, we will find you. No, it's pretty much just describes to you what is considered AWOL, aka leaving out of the blue with no permission from your command. So that's called AWOL, and it just talks about how that's kind of illegal and you'll either be fined or go to jail or be sent to military prison. Very exciting options. I know. And after the military separation brief, you will have the Oath of Enlistment. I do encourage you to invite your family to that moment. Just tell them generally it'll be within this 2-hour period, probably. It's hard to gauge, but hopefully your family's pretty patient and they are able to enter MEPS. Okay, I'm not sure if they are in 2020 and 2021, but regardless, at some point in time in the future, family will be invited to MEPS for those Oaths of Enlistment prior to you actually shipping out. Following your Oath of Enlistment, which those are happening, I think, like every 20 or 30 minutes. So once you finish all of your interview and paperwork things for the second time at MEPS, the administrative person that you check in with every now and then will say, okay, perfect. Please go to the Oath of Enlistment. The next one will be in 10 minutes. Something like that. You will raise your right hand and make the oath. And that's when you will officially be an active duty member in the branch that you have committed to. Hopefully the Air Force. Hopefully the Air Force. Just kidding, don't worry. And that is when you will be sent to grab your luggage. You will then wait a couple minutes to see who else just finished the Oath of Enlistment. Hopefully they'll be, hugging their family, calling it a wrap. And then everyone will gather together, get their luggage, and be put on the bus. And yeah, I hope this wasn't too long. That is how MEPS the second time goes. There's less steps than the first time, but it feels much more emotionally, riveting, because this oath makes you active duty and it's just kind of cool. Like, you're like, oh my God, I'm doing it. Ah! So that is the exciting part of the second time you go to MEPS. And yeah, I'm excited to continue the story next week. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and click all so that you are the first person to find out when I upload a video on Monday. Also, if you so desire, feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @MichaelAinman_. You have a great rest of your week. I will see you next week. Okay, have a good day. Bye.